All right, we talked about the reconciliation package with Senator Portman. Well, what's exactly in there? We're going to ask Dan Clifton of Strategas partner, director of research in Washington, whose reports have become cult figure reports. Dan, thank you. So let's just start out quickly, Dan. What do you think is in there? I know hard info is hard to get, but what do you think are the main pillars of this dumb thing?
Yeah, we put it in 4 specific buckets. The first is about $350 billion of renewable energy credits, wind and solar and energy storage, biofuels. Manchin will probably negotiate something for nuclear. There will be something in there for electric vehicles. So renewable energy credits is bucket 1. Bucket 2 is what they pay for those renewable energy credits with, and those are a series of tax increases. That's a surtax on the wealthy. It's the minimum corporate tax. It's going to be a higher GILTI rate on international income of U.S. multinationals. And of course, the job-killing 3.8% tax on small business. That's bucket 2. Bucket 3 is, and we already have the text for this, so it's pretty clear, is price controls on prescription drugs. This starts to create a cram-down system for Medicare drug payments, somewhere between the range of 40 to 60% starting in 2026. And the money that's quote unquote generated from that would then be used to fund higher ACA subsidies, which are at risk of expiring this year. So what you're getting is higher taxes for spending that's already happening or spending that will happen in the future. This is very growth killing. Although the Democrats are arguing that if they raise taxes, it will lower the deficit and that will reduce inflation. I just want to make this last point. Today, we got the June CBO tax revenue numbers, and tax revenues as a percentage of GDP hit 20% in Q2. The reason that's important, Larry, is that we broke the all-time record for tax revenues ever in United States history in the second quarter of the year. We are now above the 2000 tech bubble numbers. And here you have Congress talking about raising taxes $1 trillion over the next 10 years.
I mean, it's astonishing, astonishing. A couple things, Dan. ACA, Obamacare spending increases are in there. Medicaid increases are in there. And then there's this phony baloney stuff where the 4% tax on pass-throughs, the small business, is supposed to go to Medicare, but there's no such thing. It's going into general revenues.
Absolutely.
It's a gimmick. It's phony.
It's totally phony. If they structure it the way it is in the press, the Senate parliamentarian will rule it out of order in reconciliation. So it will wind up in general revenues. But Larry, small business income has been flat for 10 months, and their costs are going up 10%. So if you're going to raise taxes, you're kicking the small businesses while they're down. This is a very terrible growth-killing tax increase that's being put on the table. And I'm not sure Senators Manchin and Sinema truly understand what they're doing, because it's in complete violation of the principles they said that they would judge this bill by. So it should be interesting to see how they evaluate it when it's told that it can't go into Medicare and it's got to be used for general fund purposes.
Well, Dan, you better call both of them. And they'll take your call because you've become a cult figure. So I know they'll take your call. Joe Manchin's going to break my heart. Dan, you mentioned the wealth tax. Are we going back to that? Is this the wealth confiscation from unrealized capital gains? Is that still in there?
Absolutely not. I want to be clear. What I'm talking about is a surtax on income if you're single over $5 million, if you're married over $10 million of income.
That's still in there.
So what they do is, it's still in there. Now, Sinema, to her credit, has exempted pass-through income in there. There's some talk about removing it completely if they don't need the money. But as you know, the progressives really wanted to tax wealth. This is their way of doing it. What I would argue here is that that tax increase already happened. It happened in 2021 when every wealthy person pulled forward their income into 2021. And that's why tax revenues are so high. If they put this tax increase in place, I don't think they're going to get a lot of revenue for this. So a lot of this is growth killing. A lot of this is phantom revenue. But it makes people feel better in Washington to say, I stuck it to the wealthy.
Yeah.
And my expectation is that the small business income will be exempted out of that tax increase. But that really doesn't do much in the overall scheme of things.
Yeah, because you'll still have the 4% to 3.8% on the pass-throughs, which is really going to be.
4%.
Rob Portman
Larry,
just said that's a killer.
hits anybody over 400,000.
Yeah.
So it is a broad-based tax increase on small business.
Dan, last point, last minute.
Yep.
How do you handicap it right now?
Yeah. So there's two ways that I look at it.
Just quickly.
The first is that we're having conversations, Larry, about how to structure the GILTI tax. Should it be country by country or a blended rate? These are very specific conversations. That tells you there's a good faith negotiation going on, and that should lead you to a bias that there's a greater than 50% chance that they're going to get something done on that. Joe Manchin over the weekend started talking about the R word. That's recession. It's the first time he's injected that word in there. That's important because you're now talking about raising taxes as we are going into a recession. And so what you've seen in the equity market today is a broad decline in the expectations for whether this bill can get through. I would say the market implied odds are somewhere around 45%, and on the stock base, it's around 45%. The betting odds are a little bit higher. But if you put that together and average my view and the betting market's view, you're at a coin toss, 50-50, because you're trying to envision what Senator Manchin wants to do here. As we are speaking right now, Larry, he is in a Zoom call with Senator Schumer because Senator Schumer has COVID, so they're doing it virtually, and they're trying to hammer out the renewable energy portion by the end of this week. If that slips, I think it becomes a lot harder for them.
Why weren't we invited to that Zoom call?
I know.
You know? I mean, they must have forgot the invitation someplace.
That's right.
Anyway, Dan Clifton, best of the best. Thanks for the update, my friend. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Larry. Talk to you soon.